So in this lesson, we're going to be focusing on strings. Now, I know that we've looked at strings previously, and you've actually assigned them to variables, but it's really important to know what a string is and how to manipulate a string, as we can do a variety of different things in our code if we know how to work with strings. So just to remind ourselves, a string is a group of characters. Now, a character can be a letter or a symbol. So, for example, A is, let's see if that works, A, B, C, all of these are characters, as is an exclamation mark or maybe the hash. All of these are characters. Now, a string is a list of characters. So in this string, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 characters, but it's in a string. Now that's important to remember because we're going to be doing some manipulation on this, and the computer would actually see these as individual elements within that string. So we'll be able to count them and split them and all sorts of things. But let's focus just on what a string is at the moment. So a string is a group of characters, and in order to or a list of characters, in order to assign a string, we would need a variable. So let's call a variable called name, for example, and to assign this variable with a string, you'd use the equal sign and then assign it a name, like this. And if I wanted to assign a character to this variable called initial, I would assign it with, say, my middle initial, and then maybe I'll have surname, and I can assign that with my surname. So to assign a string, you would need a variable, the assignment operator, and then the string. And we know it's a string because we use quotes around it. If it's a character, it's a variable, again the assignment operator, and then the quotes around a single letter or a symbol. Now, strings, when they're saved in memory, need storage space, and we'll be looking at data representation later on in the course. We'll explain how data is actually stored in memory. But for now, all you need to know is that every single character, whether it's A, B, C, Z, or exclamation mark, and even white space, which means nothing, so that's an underscore, but imagine that wasn't there, it's just blank. They all require space in memory, and each one of these requires 1 byte of data. 1 byte of data. So to store, for example, my initial, F, that would be 1 byte. I'd need 1 byte of storage space to do that. To store my name, I'd need a byte for every single character. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this would actually be 6 bytes. Okay, so that's a string in a nutshell. A string is a list of characters. Each character needs 1 byte of storage of memory in order to be saved. And a string, therefore, would need as many bytes as it does characters, including white space, including spaces. So stop this video, complete the tasks in your OneNote. Once you finish those, move on to LO2.